answer from my soul. So my soul decided to come back because I wanted to be in this world and I have things to do here.
Hello, I'm Donald Lee, and this is Expressing and Revealing Your Truth with Donald Lee. It's a podcast in which I help you understand more about the truth of who you really are and how you can express and reveal that truth in the world. To do that, I interview people who have had transformational spiritual experiences, the type of experiences that many of us wish we had, but never do. Yet by learning from my guests' experiences and the wisdom they've gained from those experiences, all of us can glimpse a bigger vision of who we really are and how we can live our lives more fully, more peacefully, more lovingly. Be sure to download my free mini ebook containing 5 of the 50 parables from my popular book, The Band Director's Lessons About Life. These little parables are short, easy to read, inspiring, and also help you to understand more about who you really are. There is a link in the show notes to get your free ebook. In this episode, I interview Nikoldia Katsari. She is a young woman from Greece who grew up in the Greek Orthodox Church and became a lawyer in Athens. On the surface, everything looked wonderful with her life: successful professional career, prosperity, and a serious romantic relationship that appeared headed for marriage. But she felt unfulfilled. There was an emptiness inside, and she knew that something important was missing in her life. She started taking yoga lessons and slowly learned more about this holistic way of living. Yoga is not simply a bunch of stretching exercises where you put your body into contorted positions, like so many of us in the West believe. Nikoldia gradually realized that this was the path she needed to be on, especially when her consciousness started to leave her body and she traveled to other realities. This led to a dramatic change in her life. The last section of our interview didn't record properly, so the interview ends rather abruptly. But nonetheless, I think you will enjoy this fascinating interview with Nikoldia Katsari from Greece. Here's the interview. Hello, everyone. We are here with Nikoldia, and she is in Greece, and I am currently in Florida in the United States, so we're almost halfway around the world from each other. It's the middle of the afternoon on a bright, sunny winter day in Florida, nice and warm and sunny, and it's been a nice day in Greece as well. So welcome, Nikoldia. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for having me. It's lovely and it's an honor to be here.
Well, it's wonderful to have you. So, Nikoldia, tell us about your story of spiritual awakening, kind of how your life started, your spiritual upbringing, how things went from there. Just let's jump right in.
Great. Okay, I'm from Greece, so I'm born and raised in Greece. You know, the country is Orthodox, the religion. My family, they're not very religious to say, but this is the common religion all around. So I was feeling a little different since I was very young. As a kid, I trained a lot in martial arts, so I had a lot of discipline in my life. But I always felt, I grew up in the country, in a small town of Greece, so I'm not from the city. I grew up in the nature, which is something I really like. But I was also feeling that, you know, my world as a kid was very small. I wanted to see more, and I was feeling that I didn't fit. So this is not the right place for me. So as a kid, you know, we have to learn about religion in the school, but I didn't, though I was a very good student, I was always like, you know, a soldier, you can say. I was the good kid. So I feel that this is my conditioning, to be, you know, a nice kid and good kid, have the good grades, don't create trouble, and somehow follow the rules. But inside I had a lot of resistance of all that. So that was my, let's say, school years. But since then I had a great drawn in all the Eastern, Middle Eastern philosophy, all the things that I didn't know that I will call yoga later. Um,
So when you say
luckily,
Eastern, I mean, Greece is Eastern from us, right? Those that
yes,
have
I mean Asia.
yeah,
I mean
those
Asia.
those of us in North America, we identify really with the Western European cultural and religious tradition, whether that's Roman Catholicism or any of the Western Protestant Christian
Indeed.
sects, right? So we think Eastern Orthodox, and you're already Eastern, but you're talking about even further east. So you're talking about
Yes,
the religious traditions of India, really.
of India, of Asia, like completely different from what we have, like Orthodox or Catholics or things like that. I had a very big drawn as a kid. I like the philosophy. I like to read stuff and searching. However, until I left my hometown and I moved to Athens to study in the university, um, I didn't I didn't know much about it. So around 17, I graduated, I finished the school, and I moved to the capital in Athens to study. I studied political science in the law school. I did it. I didn't feel like it's exactly what I like to do for my life. However, I
You,
graduate.
you,
I
you
had
you didn't
good.
want to be a lawyer. Is that what you're saying?
No,
Right.
I did it though. It's my conditioning. So I did it all. I started working. I was good even in that. And I started working immediately. I found a job. I had a great internships, and then I found a job in an office. It was in my field, in the industry and all that. I had the perfect life, if you think about it. I was in a very good relationship, long term. It was looking like it's going to be like a forever thing. I had a good job. I was having working exactly what I studied, but still it wasn't what I wanted to do. So when I actually finished the university, I did my first yoga teacher training in Athens, and I started teaching like occasionally, like for some
You
friends
started what?
here.
Sorry.
I started teaching some yoga occasionally for friends here and there after my job.
Okay.
So I was working in the
Right.
office. I was like a
Right.
normal, uh, you know, corporate life, and everything was in place. All the boxes was in place. I had a partner, I had the job, I had the car, I had everything I wanted.
Yeah.
But
And your
I
parents
was
were
still,
really happy with you, right?
huh?
Your parents were really happy
Oh, they
with
were
you.
very happy, but I
Yeah.
wasn't.
Yeah.
They were happy. Everything was right. I had a secure future. I was ticking the boxes, as I said, but it wasn't the right thing for me, especially after I did the yoga training, because it had to do with a lot of meditation in that training, a lot of, we spoke a lot about the philosophy of yoga plus the Buddhism. So it wasn't exactly like only the philosophy of yoga that is more in the Hinduism, but we had a lot of meditation, a lot of different perspectives on life, a lot of different ways to deal with life. And the ethical code, you can say that you follow, like to be honest, to be rightful, to live with intention, with purpose. And that was a boom, a whole new world. I was quite young, I was 20 something,
So
24
why
years old.
so why I don't understand, Nikoldia, why that would be so new to you. I mean, within Christianity, there's a huge moral and ethical component to it. So why would the ethical aspect of yoga be new to you?
Comparing to what is Christianity, you mean the ethical code? It's not that is against each other. It's just that I started really living that. Maybe at that time, it was like what we do. But it wasn't a choice until that moment. At that
Right.
moment, I was free, I was away from the family. I had the freedom of choice. I could do whatever I want, and I could really enter into that space. No, it is not actually against each other. It's very close to each other. If you really follow what Christianity says, because it's a religion of love, it's really
Yes.
close. Just for me, it was this time that the opening happened, and you have the option to see a different world, a different way.
Yes.
So that's the
Yes, yeah,
no, it's not against each other at all. I like the point there.
yeah.
Um,
And
so this is
I
how
think
it
maybe
started.
we should clarify one other thing for our listeners, and that here in North America, most people think of yoga as exercise, like physical exercise, doing stretches and, improving the flexibility of your body and that sort of thing. But really, in the Eastern tradition, that's just a side part of yoga. In fact, it slips my mind now. What yoga does yoga mean? The way or something like that? I mean, yoga is really um, a way of spiritual living, right? It's a philosophy, and yeah, it's really a philosophy that has as part of it a cosmology and all that kind of stuff.
Yes,
So, can you
it's a system.
explain or maybe define for us more precisely what you mean when you say you were studying yoga?
Yes, that's a great question. In the Western world, and not only in different parts of the world, apart from India, that yoga has traveled, and that's a good thing. Um, let's say we took the part that we needed the most, and yoga is a big system that you can live by. So yoga has a lot of different various aspects that cover all aspects of life. So it's created to help you navigate life. But that doesn't mean that is only the physical. So yoga has the physical, that is the bodily exercises, the movements that you do. It has the meditation. It has the breathing techniques that helps you get closer to your meditation or your soul to quieten the mind more. And it has even the eating habits like Ayurveda. It's not exactly on yoga, but it also has um, a way to help you with knowledge, with very old tradition in how you can eat properly to keep your body healthy and to be more in connection with the universe and nature and the elements. Um, so what is going on now is that because we are very busy people, not active. The Western world, we are busy people, and we took what we needed the most. We took the exercise, we took the movements of yoga, and maybe we don't exercise that much the spirituality. Is this a good and bad thing? I don't want to say, I don't want to even reply that, because for some reason you took this, if this is what you need. Do we have to strip it down to keep it only there? No, this is my opinion. We should know that there are other parts of it also available if you want. You just have to reach out and, take it. In why we do the asana, all of these nice movements that we stand in, weird movements, we stand in our heads, we look like animals, they have all the animal names, and we resemble actually creatures and
Right.
positions.
The downward
Uh,
dog
the
position
downward
and all those
facing
kind
dog,
of things like that, right?
the chair pose, or
Yeah.
the cobra, and all of that. Okay, this was created in a time that humans were closer to the nature, so they tried to copy the animals. But the reason I think we do that is because the body is what we have as a tangible, um, is a tangible part that we can start with, is what we need to exercise. After we exercise enough, the body is relaxed enough, so you can calm down and sit to a nice meditation. There is people that don't need that. They can get to that state before. So they pass that phase and they can sit right now. They can sit down and get into deep states of meditation only by breathing, only by bringing the attention in. And that's enough. But especially in the Western world, this is not common because our brains are receptors. So we're very busy multitasking, something that in Asia, in India, they don't do so much. They stay more single tasking, good or bad, but this is the way they do it. And they can enter that field faster, I believe.
Okay, so you were then spending more time and energy in your study of yoga?
I spent quite some time. Not only, but yes, most of the time. Different styles, different teachers, different places in the world. I started in Greece. I spent quite a long time here with great teachers, not only Greek teachers, but teachers from abroad that were also coming here. I spent some time in the States with some teachers that are not American also. You have some Indians, you have some other teachers. Spent time in India, spent time in Indonesia, spent time in Thailand. I spent in different places. Yoga has been a big part for me. I feel like I have a connection with that because I was also restless and a lot of energy. So I needed the asana part until I get to connect deeper. However, I get great breakthrough when I get deeper into the breath. So when I start connecting with the breath, I start really traveling. When I say travel, it doesn't mean that lost. I don't know how someone can understand that, but you can connect deeper in yourself and you can get into different timelines, zones, realms. You can call it however you want. And yeah, I think this has been most of
So
my
you're saying traveling, but not your body traveling, your consciousness traveling.
yes. Yes, the conscious can travel and conscious spirit, soul. Yeah, I don't know how exactly you want to call it. But your body stays in the same place, like I'm sitting here, for example. But you can travel in the past or maybe in another timeline. So this can happen in deeper states of meditation. I think now it's also proven, like they call it quantum healing. You can go and do a leap. And this is not, how can I say, this is not guaranteed that you're going to get it every time you get in meditation. But the more you connect and the more you practice and the more you connect to the breath, the more you can travel. I met parts of my soul there. I
Right.
met
So
parts of
was
my
there, for example, the first time your consciousness uh, traveled outside your body? What was that experience like? Was it something that you expected to happen, were hoping to happen, and
no,
finally there it was? Or was it a sort of something that surprised you and you thought, oh my goodness, what's going on?
no, I didn't expect anything, and I feel now that this is part of the recipe. There doesn't exist a recipe exactly to get there, but the more expectation you have, the harder to get it. If you do
Really?
not, yes,
Okay.
if you do not expect something and you really surrender and connect, then most likely you're gonna get that experience. At least that's for me.
Just a little break from the program to mention a couple of things. Firstly, if you're enjoying this podcast, please like and subscribe. It really helps the algorithm to find more people who would enjoy these interviews. Also, if you're interested in spiritual growth, you might be interested in my series of spiritual books. As a spiritual author and a former band director, I use my little the band director trademark in these books because I use music as a metaphor for life and our journey of becoming a musician as a metaphor for our spiritual journey. There are 3 books in these series. The Band Director's Lessons About Life is a book of modern-day parables inspired by events from my teaching career. When you're working with kids, things naturally come up that we sometimes call teachable moments. Little events where you realize that there's a bigger lesson happening right now than the alternate F-sharp fingering on the clarinet that I was trying to teach. I started writing some of these little stories down and turning them into modern-day parables. So, the Band Director's Lessons About Life has 50 little parables. It's a bit like a Chicken Soup for the Soul book. Each parable is about 3 pages long. Each begins with a story that happened in school, and then there's a reflection section that draws a spiritual lesson out of the events of the story. That is, it explains what the spiritual metaphor means. The band director's lessons about life is easy to read, makes a great gift, and expresses many universal spiritual principles in an easy-to-understand way. If you want to go deeper in your spiritual growth, I've also published a study guide to accompany the Book of Parables. It turns the band director's lessons about life into a year-long course in spiritual development. You will spend a week on each of the 50 parables. There's a deeper teaching about the meaning of each parable, reflection and discussion questions, especially if you would like to use the study guide in a group setting, and a different meditation for each lesson. The third book in the series is a little book titled The Band Director's Pocket Guide to Spiritual Growth. This little book explains a simple 3-step process for putting your spiritual growth into high gear. You can learn more about all these 3 books and my other books at my website, www.cominghomespirit.com. Because, after all of us are on a spiritual journey back home to God. So that's cominghomespirit.com. You can also go directly to my Shopify page at cominghomespirit.myshopify.com, where you can purchase my books directly from me. At the moment, I can only ship paperback books within the continental United States. So if you live in other countries, you will need to purchase my books through Amazon in your own country. If you're enjoying this podcast, I really think you'll enjoy my band director series of books as well. Now, back to the program.
No, I didn't expect anything. And when you come back, it's strange. It's like you touch yourself, you're like, did that happen? Where was I? Somewhere else? And you feel fully conscious when you return. There's nothing strange. Your body's nice and everything is in place. But it takes some time to integrate and really. The first time I was in disbelief, like, okay, maybe something happened. Maybe I was dreaming, I was doubting. That was a
Yes.
dream, but it's not exactly a dreaming space. It's something in between dreaming and feeling what is going on. You are unconsciously conscious of what is going on.
Yeah. It's very hard to describe. We don't, all of our languages here on Earth, right, have evolved to describe material reality. And
Exactly.
we can never find words to really describe something that's not part of material reality because our language has never developed words for it. So it is hard to describe. But so you're saying that it's easy for you to distinguish between the dream state and this state in which your consciousness is traveling outside your body. Is that
Now,
correct?
yes.
Yeah.
Now, yes. At the beginning, it wasn't. At the
Okay.
beginning, I was thinking maybe it was just, a dream. But now I can distinct that. I know when a dream is a dream. I know also what is a vivid dream, because this can also happen when you sleep, when you're in deep sleep, and you wake up and you remember it, and it's like I'm not even relaxed. I don't feel. I was dreaming all night. I was doing things, but that's a
I'm not
different
rested.
state.
Yeah.
That's a different state than when you're in a deep meditation, in a deep breathwork session, and you have it's an out-of-body experience. So you're in an alternate consciousness state. It's good to have the right environment. It's good to have some protection, some trust, some safety also there. For me, that's crucial, that's important. If you just jump out.
Yeah. So, and I presume you're not referring to physical safety, but to
No.
spiritual safety. Is that right?
Yes. Yes. It's good to have your anchor. So before you start visualizing or living, it's good to have an anchor at the earth, or even ask your guardian angel to be with you.
Okay.
Something
Can
like
you
that.
can you describe a little bit, maybe the process you use and exactly what you mean by an anchor?
Okay, I use different process. Like you visualize that you have an anchor from yourself, from your body going down to the earth, that it will bring you here. You have the connection, and the connection is strong. That's why I say this conscious, unconscious. You are
Right.
conscious in what you do, because you want to. I want to return. I don't want to live the world. I like this life. I'm happy to be in
Yes.
this world. Another
Yes.
thing is good to do, like you call upon the guardian angel. There are several angels. I mean, Michael is one of the most common guardian. It's the same we have in in religion, I think. It
Right. Same.
doesn't have to be anything different because he's a guardian. So you call your guardian angels to be with you if you need them. And another way is that you create a shield of light around you. So you visualize yourself inside the light, like you see the saints in the pictures that they have a gold light around them. So before you get into the meditation, it's good to have that. Is a very good protection. Otherwise, if you're alone, if you're in a space with people, it's good that that person that is facilitating to be aware of that and put the protection anyway. But for yourself, it's good to do it. I believe there might be other ways to do that, but definitely these ways are good. Will help you to
Okay.
and
Good. What are some of the places you said you were just about to tell us about how you met different aspects of your soul? Can you
mm.
describe some of those experiences and explain what that means, what you learned about that?
Yes, there was one time that it stayed with me a lot until now. I was in a journey, and possibly it was a past life of mine. So the image was very clear. I could see, let's say, myself. It wasn't like I look alike now. I was looking different, but I could identify that I was that person. But I was still the observer, so I could still see the whole like a movie going on, and it actually answered my question why I'm here, why I came back, and it was a very clear. Um, it was a very clear answer from my soul. So my soul decided to come back because I wanted to be in this world and I have things to do here and I want to help
Yeah.
other people
Yeah.
become
And well,
better.
then
So
that's
that was
so
very direct message. Is one of the
good.
times I got a really direct message. Not always like that.
Yeah, yeah. It's so helpful to have some understanding of what our soul mission really is here, because the vast majority of us have no idea. So what was the message? Describe that experience then. You were as if you were watching a movie, sort of, about another person, but you understood that that other
It's
person you
me.
were watching was you.
Mm. At
So
the
tell us about the other person, male, female, any idea
female, I
of
was
the,
again a female,
right?
and I was about to die in that life. So
Okay.
there I prayed. I prayed actually to Mother Mary in that life. It's not very far. And I saw her face and she gave me the answer. She said, so you wanted to be. I was like almost praying to die in that life. And then she said, no, you have to stay in this life because this life you have to offer something good. And your soul wants to be here. So it was the answer. And it was
Okay, so it wasn't specific. Your mission is to offer something good. Have you gained any further insight into what good you are supposed to offer? Of course, we have. Let me just clarify. Is my understanding of our mission, our soul mission. Our souls come into our lives with a mission, with some goals, some things to achieve. But there's more than one way that we can achieve those goals, right? So we don't have to worry too much about oh, should I become a carpenter or a welder? Will I miss my whole life mission if I choose the wrong occupation? But no, it's not quite like that, right? So we don't have to panic over those kind of things. But so have you gained any more specific insight into what your soul mission is here in this life?
I didn't get an answer like you have to do that, as you said, that job or this or that. But the answer was that your soul chose to be here because you really wanted to be here to help other people improve their life. This is what your mission, and it was a confirmation that what you do, even with yoga, helping people with the physical aspect, if they don't need any other, it's good, is what you have to do. You have done it again, and this is what you need to complete. So it's something like that. But it was a choice for me to return for that. So, no, I agree totally with you that you don't have to worry too much about the job, as long, of course, that this job is not a burden for you. You don't have to worry about the job you're going to do in this life, as long as maybe this job is just the way for you to make the sufficient amount of money you need to go, and then you can fulfill your mission anyway. There are multiple ways to help people. It doesn't have to be your job exactly. For me, it is, because I dropped already a job that still, if I was a lawyer, I could still help people, but it was really corrupted. This field is a difficult field for me, and I cannot be taking position, yes or no, and lying. These people lie a lot. They have to lie a lot, many times. So I realized that.
It's tragic, and of course it's not just Greece. The legal profession is corrupt everywhere.
I think everywhere. Even if you try to do good and take the position of the person that needs the most, that doesn't mean that you will not have to do things. It was difficult for me to go against sometimes my soul, though I knew I could help other people there.
Thank you very much. God bless you, and all the best to you in your journeys and in your mission. Bye for now.